Today we will be taking a look at ASX listed stock Power Minerals. Their ticker is PNN. We're going to be providing a fundamental overview of where the company is currently at, as well as performing some technical analysis in order to make some predictions on where we can expect to see PNN go in the near future. Let's take a look. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. Today we're taking a look at Power Minerals. Their ticker is PNN on the ASX, and this is another lithium exploration company. If you've been following the channel, we have covered this company before, but I thought it's time to give a little bit of an update as to where they're at. Just a bit of background, this is an exploration organization and their main project is based out of Argentina. It is the Salta Lithium Project. It's certainly a very exciting project from the sense that it is in that infamous lithium triangle and has a very strong leadership team pushing for this to be a successful operation. As we know, with the lithium space at the moment, everything is hot, and as a result of this, the prices of lithium stocks have been certainly rising over the past few years, and of course with Power Minerals this is no exception when we start to move into the future. This is going to be one of those companies to certainly watch and do a bit more research into if this video today piques your interest. So without further ado, let's jump into the fundamental analysis of the company. Then later on, we'll move in. So to kick things off, let's talk a bit about the financial state of this company. Right now, they are sitting at roughly 40 cents per share Australian dollars, which is a value of $28 million market cap. Now, as we know, exploration companies are very small from this perspective as they don't have any sort of tangible income. Now, getting in early to these companies is a big risk, but at $28 million, it is significantly undervalued when you compare it to many other exploration stocks on the ASX. From a cash perspective, they have about 2.4 quarters worth of funding, so only $4.8 million cash on hand at this point in time. Now, whilst that is, in my opinion, a small amount, I think as a result of this, we're going to see a raise of some sort occur within the next few quarters. It has to occur to keep the operations of the company actually rolling. That's something to keep in the back of your mind when you're looking at investing in this company, because when a raise happens, more often than not, it is of course necessary, but at the same time, that can sometimes have a negative impact on the share price of the organization, as more shares are typically issued out in order to do so. The other method, of course, is through funding from another possible offtake partner as prepayment if someone's really keen, or going to the bank for a loan, which would then provide them with the money that they need to continue their operations. Now, whilst there is possibly a raise coming in the near future, they have done a bit to alleviate that financial stress. So what they've done is they've engaged in an agreement with a company called Mingjin New Energy, who have invested $2.6 million in the company. This is obviously very important because it allows them to keep those operations going without the immediate need for a raise being required. Furthermore, another part of this agreement was to sell this company their Santa Ynez copper gold project. They received $1.5 million on top of the 2.6 for a total of $4.1 million in funding as a result of this sale and this agreement with Mingjin. As a result of this, their bank balance does of course significantly increase and alleviates that pressure that we were just discussing previously. In doing so, I don't believe that, I suppose at this point in time, we're going to see a raise within the next few quarters, but moving down the track and seeing that exploration is consistently going on at their key project, the Salta Lithium Project, there will be funding requirements at some point in time. So once again, just keep it in the back of your mind, but right now everything's still running. They've also mentioned as well that they are going to focus all those funds on their Salta Lithium project as well, which is fantastic, as this is really, I think, where the value lies for Power Minerals at the moment. It is in the lithium space, and making agreements with the Mingjin and also divesting existing assets for other non-lithium related projects is a fantastic decision in order to put that focus on the lithium project and also provide the financial funding that is required in order to continue the exploration process. Taking a look now at the Salta Lithium Project itself, there is a lot happening and a lot to excite investors who are currently holding and of course potential investors as well. The first thing is that they recently underwent a resource upgrade, which was very significant. The upgrade was 104%. That is a massive increase in tonnage, more than double the existing JORC resource. So how big is that? That is 249,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent material. The lithium concentration is sitting at 198 milligrams. Of that, 64% of the resource is in the measured category when we're looking at the JORC itself, a large portion, which is very important when it comes to accuracy when trying to determine the resource size itself. Now, what really is exciting is this is only one of 3 salars. So it's the Incahuasi salar that has had the upgrade to 249,000 tons at 198 milligrams. We also then have the Rincon salar, which is 66,000 tons of LCE at a higher grade, which is 248 milligrams. And then we also have the Pular salar, which is only 82 milligrams, but at 173,000 tons. As a grand total, that brings us to 488,308 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent for the Salta Lithium Brine project. Now, whilst we have seen this increased expansion at the Salta Lithium project, we're also seeing they're trying to diversify their lithium portfolio as well, and of course double down on the Argentinian region. Recently, they just acquired 100% of the Laguna Verde project. This is a size on a land scale of 250,000 hectares of potential lithium-based land, where we are hopefully going to see some drilling occur. They purchased this from a company called Ultra Lithium, and hopefully we're going to start seeing some drilling and some results come out of this area, whilst simultaneously as well seeing the Salta Lithium project consistently expand in the meantime. It's also worth mentioning that Power Minerals have the Musgrave project in South Australia. This is a nickel, copper, cobalt project which they are planning on performing drilling activities for. What I expect to see from this is similar to what we saw at the Santa Ynez project, and that is going to be, we're going to get a little bit of a resource, and they're probably going to sell this off in order to continue the focus on the lithium activities that are in the Argentinian region. In doing so, this would hopefully once again prevent the need for capital raising in the near future. But also, if they do hit something really big, there is the potential, you never know, they might hold on to this and then diversify into these minerals moving into the future. In my opinion though, the lithium space is where they need to focus on. That is where the hype is, that is where the money is, and that is where they've spent the most time and energy in developing at this point in time. Of course, still early days across their portfolio. All stages of their projects are at the exploration stage, and we're hopefully going to see some results come out in the near future. Now, what we're going to do is take a look at the Power Minerals chart. We're going to do some technical analysis on it and hopefully try and help you guys make some predictions on where we can expect to see Power Minerals go in the near future. So without further ado, let's jump in and take a look. Welcome back into the Power Minerals chart, guys. As you can see, we're just sitting shy of 40 cents at 39.5 cents. And since we took a look at this one previously, a few months have gone by, and unfortunately, we have dropped in value. But what I want to do is try and put some things into perspective using technical analysis. So first and foremost, let's take a look at the longer term uptrend that we originally had in place. Looked a little bit like that. You can see it started around here back in December of 2020, and it has been touched on multiple occasions, which was acting as a major point of support. Unfortunately, over here in the middle of February, this point of support failed, and there have since been 2 failed attempts to get back above this point, meaning that this point of resistance is too hard for us to get through at this stage. From a shorter term perspective, we did also have a little downtrend coming through in this sort of a format. We are above that, which we did break above it over here on roughly the 16th of May, although a gap did form, which has now only just recently closed. Thankfully, we are still sitting barely just above this overall downtrend line, and as a result, given that we've closed right on it, I'm hoping we see a little bounce and a movement upwards within the next few days in order to maintain that key point of a breakout that we had over here, with the gap being closed and now us being able to move up. Now, fundamentally, we have 3 big issues, and those big issues are the 20, 50 and 200 day moving averages. We're sitting below all 3 of those at the moment. They are going to be major points of resistance for us to get through, and it is going to prove to be, I believe, quite difficult. What we're going to need to see is the volume start to increase, possibly something like we saw over here before, in order to get through those points and then try and retest this long-term line that we put in place a while back and try and break above that point. But I don't think right now we are seeing the required volume. I'd expect to see an announcement being a catalyst for us to get above these moving averages, but right now they're not looking too good. You can even see that 20-day blue moving average is about to cross back below the 50-day moving average, indicating a change in the direction, being a decrease in the short term, but certainly time will tell. I'll put in one more line that you can see just about here, which I don't think is too good. I think what we were doing was possibly moving for a breakout here. We broke down, managed to maintain support though in the short term from an overall downtrend perspective that we saw there, and hopefully we can get back above and close into this line so that the pattern that was playing out plays out, and this is just simply a false breakout. We've seen many false breakouts and breakdowns over the course of the history of this stock, so it is not too uncommon and is not out of the realm of possibility for this to occur as well. Let's take a look at a few more indicators. First and foremost, the RSI. Now the RSI, as you can see over here, it peaked when we had that false breakout. It peaked at 73.88. We've since been dropping, and now as of today we're sitting at 39.76. So there is plenty of room for the price action to move upwards, although there is still a small bit of room to move downwards as well, as we just did see over the past couple of days. Looking at the MACD, let's take a brief look at this one as well. You can see we had a cross of the 12-day EMA below the 26-day EMA back here on the 26th of May, and since that point we've been trending downwards, which has been quite clear. At this present point in time, the lines are still trending downwards. The trend doesn't look like anything much is happening from a bar perspective here as well. It's relatively flat, and I don't think we're seeing major signs of a reversal at this point in time. The only positive I can take out of this is that we're not seeing massive red spikes here like we have seen with the green spikes. Instead, it is plateauing and not too much is going on. So if a reversal were to occur, it could actually happen relatively quickly. So where does that leave us realistically? I am trying to be optimistic based on knowing the fundamentals, but just purely looking at the chart, things aren't looking great right now. Our short-term trend has unfortunately failed, this line that we were moving up on over here. We've had a close at the 39.5 mark, whereas we needed to stay above the 42 mark in order to maintain that trend. That immediately is not positive. Although we are still maintaining this point of support here at 39.5 from the medium term sort of trend, but unfortunately, as we already know, we are very much below that longer term trend at this point in time. I think for us to be able to see a bit of support come through, we're going to need the volume to pick up, and I think basically an announcement's the only catalyst for that to happen. I mean, even if we do look at the horizontal points of support, you can see right now we're sitting basically smack bang at it. So much price action has happened at this point horizontally in the past, making it a major point of support. That's probably what we've got going for us now. I think best case scenario realistically over the next few weeks is a bit of movement in a sideways direction, pending nothing happens from a fundamental overview perspective. But if we do see a positive announcement through, that could be the catalyst for a turnaround. Realistically, where do I think we'll go over the next few weeks? I think we're not actually going to move that far in price, and we're going to be trending sideways for the foreseeable future. That wraps up today's analysis of Power Minerals, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.